What's up YouTube, Dan here again, welcome to another video. As you know, I'm going to be getting rid of this Civic. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but the Civic is going to be scrapped. Now, you're probably wondering, you've just done a video on the 5 things that you liked about it, why are you scrapping it? Well, it's knackered. I've got another shell that I'm going to swap everything over into. Did I mention that I've got another shell? I don't know if I did. But I'm going to be scrapping this. Basically, it's because of its general appearance, which you'll see now. So you've seen it's an absolute shed. I can make it look good on Instagram, you know, I can mess about with it on, you know, a few lens distortions. I can even put a bit of Photoshop on there. I mean, to be honest, I don't really use Photoshop, but I do use quite a bit of Adobe Lightroom, and I can make the car look good, but it looks far from good. As you can see, I've just shown you all the blemishes, all the corrosion, all the issues that it's got. A few of them are like scrapes that have just happened where I've left the car parked. The rear bumper, for example, that actually happened in Works car park. Somebody left my bumper hanging off. Thankfully, I mean, the clip was broken, the bumper, but thankfully there was enough material left so that I could screw it and hold it to the arch. But yeah, it's not in the best of nick, this car. It's not in the best of nick at all. But yeah, I've got a lot of concerns with this car and this shell particularly. The main issue and why it's going to be scrapped is corrosion. There's corrosion everywhere on this car, down to where the EP3s normally go, where the rear, you know, the bottom of the rear bench where your feet are, where the floor meets the start of the back seat, if you like. That's starting to corrode there. I've already treated it once. I did buy this car with both rear arches done, so both rear arches had been cut out, welded in. As you can see, both rear arches again are going. The sill is non-existent basically on that side underneath the plastic. It passed MOT last year just because they can only test what they can see, but I do know that, you know, I took the sill cover off about 2 months after, and there isn't much sill there, to be fair. It's gone, and it's got to the point now, I think, where the sill cover doesn't actually cover up the corrosion, so they will start tapping that area to see if it goes through. So that's the main reason really, is this shell is just riddled with car cancer, just rust everywhere. And there's a lot of new parts on this car as well. Like, it was only last year that I was fitting like loads of new stuff to it. The Keltec exhaust was one of the last things that I put on it. I swapped the ECU out for a UK one because the JDM ECU that came with this engine had a speed limiter on it for 200 kilometers an hour. So yeah, that had a speed limiter on for 200 kilometers an hour, which isn't good. But if it wasn't for the condition of the shell, I'd still be putting parts on it now. Like I say, there's a lot of parts on this car that are new, which is why I've got the new shell. I'll be swapping everything over onto it. There are some things that I've not got around to replacing as well, so I've got parts in the garage, for example. The gearbox engine mount is shot, but I've bought a set of 3 innovative mounts. I think they were 85 rating polyurethane bushing, and I've done the rear mount and the cam belt side mount. I've just got the gearbox mount to do, but to do that you've got to drill off the original mounting bracket, whereas the HCP mounts, which are like the original old school H-swap mounts, they don't need you to do that. They just need you to trim it and re-drill a hole through it for their bracket to fit into the original mounting bracket off the chassis leg, if you like. so their mount fits the original chassis bracket with a bit of fettling. So yeah, I've got that to put on. The gearbox chatters and whines, and it's noisy as anything. It's still fine, I still launched the crap out of it, but I do have a full bearing set, carbon synchros, a short final drive from M Factory, all the carbon synchros are from Syncrotech. I've got loads of stuff that I need to put in the gearbox, and the gearbox will be buttery smooth then. So it's just a shame. It's not really running right. The coolant fan doesn't automatically come on, so I'm constantly looking at that. There is a very small coolant leak, and I think it's where the coolant hose comes up to the heater matrix on the bulkhead, you know, on the firewall, if you like, if you're in America. I think it's weeping a little bit there, but there's no drips of coolant anywhere underneath the car, which is why I think it's just a little weep, and the coolant goes down so slowly I've not even bothered looking at it. It's been like that probably since I've done the swap, to be fair, and it's not popped off or anything like that. I don't think it's under pressure or anything necessarily, that particular hose. It's just, you know, it's one of those things, I suppose. It'll just need a new clamp on it. I've got around to doing it. No. Can I be bothered? No, because this car's actually going to come off the road on the 15th. That's when the MOT runs out. The date is now the 12th. So yeah, by the end of next week, this will be coming off the road. And I'll be in the new project budget build Civic that I've got, a new Civic SI if you're in the States, Civic VTI over here in the UK and in Europe, Civic SIR if you're in Japan. But yeah, I've got one of those Civics. It's a coupe, so it is like the proper Civic SI that everyone knows, like off Need for Speed, all that sort of stuff. It's in silver as well, and I've always wanted one of those cars as much as I've always wanted like one of these. So I'm really looking forward to making that like the budget build. What is with this weather today? But yeah, that's going to end up being the budget build for the channel, I think. I've already got so many parts for it. You know, I said it's completely stock, and I said I'm going to keep it stock, and I just started buying parts for it, and it's not even on the road yet. So shocking, I know. But yeah, there's a few other little running issues with this, like the ignition timing could be advanced a little bit more. I've just swapped the ECUs and played with the timing a little bit. But when I was doing that with my old man, the spark plugs were on, you know, they were at the end of the life basically. So it could probably get advanced quite a bit more now. You know, maybe a degree or two to play with. Mainly is the chassis condition. That's my main concern with this car, is the chassis condition. If it wasn't as bad as what it is, and if it was just blemishes on the outside that could be, you know, painted, whatever else, I'd still be working on this car today. I wouldn't have a project car though for that. Did I mention I've got a project car, a budget build coming? But I wouldn't have got another car, I wouldn't have another shell, I'd just still be working on this. Now, I would prefer that because it's cheaper, but I don't think it'd be as fun. And I do want to get into the new chassis and start seam welding it and cutting out the little bit of rot that's got and welding new in. Whereas this, it's not past it, but it's certainly too much work for me. I don't want to be doing this level of welding. It reminds me actually of Danny DC2's Integra does this. It's going in all the same places, except Danny DC2's arches are mainly filler, so they don't really rot. But this is probably just as bad. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that's a bit more informative for you, this particular video. I hope it, you know, basically explains why I'm going to scrap the car, because it is going to get scrapped. I'm going to take it to get crushed. I'd love to get it crushed into like a cube, just to see it as a cube. And I'd see if I can get like a small shard of it or something to cherish and take home, because I've had this car years, to be fair. It is going to be a sad occasion. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, then please subscribe, hit the bell, give us a thumbs up. That really helps with the search listings on YouTube. It does really help the channel. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.